From ESPN's Adam Schefter, Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson is expected to meet with the Panthers and Saints in the next 48 hours. The number of teams interested in Watson increased Friday after a grand jury in Houston declined to indict him on criminal complaints alleging sexual assault and inappropriate conduct. He still faces 22 civil lawsuits. The Cardinals should be among the teams interested in Watson, believes our Bart Scott.
We know that Houston wants to trade them out of the AFC because they don't want to see him for 10 years. I would trade Kyler Murray.
Here we go.
1 for 1. Maybe I give you a fourth. 1 for 1. I will give you Deshaun Watson, and you can have an MVP candidate.
Bart of Barton Hahn. The Braves agreed on a trade to acquire first baseman Matt Olson from Oakland. The move makes it unlikely Atlanta re-signs free agent Freddie Freeman. South Carolina fired men's basketball coach Frank Martin after 10 seasons.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews right from your employer dashboard. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. What a busy weekend. Of course, LSU's fired Will Wade. That's going to be the bulk of the show today. But Selection Sunday, Tigers are dancing, both men and women. The Saints are pursuing Deshaun Watson, as we thought they might. We have a little more clarity to it. We'll get to all of that over the next 3 hours. And we're very, very glad to have you aboard with us here. It is the end of an era for LSU basketball. And I was asked earlier today, I did an interview on SiriusXM with Peter Burns and Chris Doering, and they asked me, how I was feeling, how LSU fans should be feeling. And the word I used was conflicted. Because I think there was, look, let's be honest with each other. From the moment we heard Will Wade's voice on that wiretap, there was always this feeling like this moment was inevitable. There was an air of inevitability, like this was going to be the end, just when and how and what the circumstances would be. And when LSU reinstated Will Wade back in 2019 and they restructured his contract such that when they got an NOA or if they got an NOA, they could fire him for cause, it was setting up for this moment. The oddity is that LSU backed their guy for the last 3 years. Lines were drawn in the sand, and they supported their coach and happily continued to collect really nice gate receipts for a basketball program that all of a sudden became very relevant until Wednesday when the NOA came down and ultimately Scott Woodward and William Tate jointly, I would assume, made the decision to move on from Will Wade, as was expressed in their letter to the LSU community on Saturday. I want to be clear because as I've talked about this over the weekend, there's still some selective hearing. So I'm just going to be as blunt and direct and straightforward as I can be in hopes that what I'm saying actually penetrates, okay? I am okay with LSU firing Will Wade. I'm okay with it. I understand it. Your coach is on a federal wiretap talking about paying players. You have a notice of allegations with nearly double-digit allegations of level 1 violations. I get it. I understand why an administration would move forward. It's also coupled with a football investigation. And if you're trying to put forth an air of compliance, it's hard to do that when you continue to support this coach. I get it. I understand it. And if that's the decision that LSU wants to make or has made, okay. I could and have also pointed to Auburn and Bruce Pearl, Kansas and Bill Self, Arizona and Sean Miller, 3 coaches also involved in that very same FBI investigation who found their programs in the midst of it, and those respective programs found a way to salvage their very popular coaches. Bruce Pearl and Bill Self have lifetime contracts. They were involved in the same thing. But it wasn't their voice on the wiretap, which ultimately is the one prevailing difference here. I'm okay, again, with LSU making the decision to move on. I don't like it because a lot of the phone calls that I had over the weekend, there are defensible points in the NOA, which I think is going to happen. But the when and the how, I think, is what I have a problem with. Scott Woodward and William Tate released a letter on Saturday to the LSU community, and there's 3 parts of this letter that made me shake my head, if not laugh out loud. It's kind of the feeling of, don't tinkle on my head and tell me it's raining. Just shoot me straight. First, the letter mentions the program operating under an exhausting shroud of negativity. It's their words, exhausting shroud of negativity. That's true, but that's been the case for 3 years. And if you retain Will Wade for 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 more years, that's still going to be the case. So why now? If the exhausting shroud of negativity was too much to bear. That's one. 2, they write about their responsibility to protect and promote the integrity and well-being of our entire institution and our student athletes, and that being paramount. Okay. If your student athletes were really at the center of what you cared about, you wouldn't be firing your coach the day before Selection Sunday. You're not. This group of players has worked very hard to earn an NCAA tournament berth, and you cut them off at the knees the day before Selection Sunday. You handcuffed them. You took away their coach. Don't tell me you care about the student athletes. You don't. And don't tell me you care about the integrity of the institution, because if you did, you'd have fired him 3 years ago or at any point over the last 3 years. That's not what this is about. And the part of this that was the most perplexing of all is the line that reads, notably, our decision to terminate Coach Wade and Coach Armstrong is not an acknowledgement of agreement with any of the allegations. The university will determine its positions on the allegations after an exhaustive and objective examination of the relevant facts and applicable NCAA regulations. Basically saying, by the way, we're firing him, but we're not saying we agree with the NOA. Okay. So you make it very clear you're not saying that you agree with the NOA. The exhaustive shroud of negativity has been there for 3 years. And you want to do what's best for the student athletes, which is not firing the coach the day before Selection Sunday. This entire letter is a pile of crap, if I could put it bluntly. And I don't know who wrote it, but poorly done. And to Scott Woodward and William Tate for putting your name on it, come on. So what would you rather him say, Matt? Okay, I would have rathered this. We have supported Will Wade over the last 3 years because conversations with our coach at the time of his suspension led us to believe that he might be in the right. However you want to phrase that. Given the nature of the allegations in this NOA, we no longer feel it is responsible to have Coach Wade represent our university. Okay, basically saying, we waited. We were patient until we got the NOA. Now we've read it, and we just can't proceed anymore. Okay. But what's abundantly clear is that Scott Woodward has always wanted to have his own guy in there, and the second they got this NOA, he was going to fire Will Wade. I didn't know that. You didn't know that. Many of us didn't know that. Maybe Will Wade didn't know that. But it's clear this was always going to be Scott Woodward's charge, is as soon as this NOA came, because that's what they wrote in the amended contract back in 2019, as soon as this NOA came, they were going to fire Will Wade. The problem I have is, man, you could have waited 3 weeks. You're preparing a response to the NOA anyway. You could have waited 3 weeks. You could have waited 3 months. And you could have said, after reviewing all of the evidence in the NOA and what we have, we've determined we're no longer comfortable moving forward with Will Wade as our coach. Okay, there were better ways to do it than what they did. It's done. It's crying over spilled milk at this point. And now LSU has to move forward. And I understand if you're an LSU fan today, it's conflicting. Because on one hand, you probably understand this. But the other hand, you look and you say, damn it, this is what's done in college basketball. Like, this is the way it's always been done in this sport. It's a dirty sport. Why is our guy in the spotlight? And the example, and I understand that completely. And there's a fear that, look, you're probably facing sanctions and scholarship restrictions and maybe a postseason ban, and it's going to be harder to get players, and you're going to go through a lean period. And it sucks because Will Wade had raised the expectation level at LSU. And it looks like that's going to go away because, well, I mean, we'll talk about it. I don't know who Scott Woodward is going to hire for this job. Like, his whole reputation of being a big game hunter, who wants this job? We'll get to that. But, you know, I would say, and I'll give you this example, I'll give you this analogy, but I want you to understand I'm not comparing the severity of the two. It's the Ray Rice incident. I'm not saying domestic violence is on par with paying a player. Don't misunderstand me. The point is, for years, we heard the word domestic violence, phrase domestic violence. We saw it printed. But when Ray Rice punched his fiancée in that elevator, it added a different layer of awareness. In college basketball, we've heard forever about coaches paying players and sneaker deals and the dirty AAU coaches. I mean, it's part of the culture that we all accept as reality. But it's different when you hear a coach on a wiretap. And that's why LSU was not able to get out of this shroud of negativity the way Auburn and Kansas and Arizona and NC State and others were. And it led us to this inevitable day. I'm grateful for Will Wade. He made a lot of people give a damn about basketball when they hadn't for a long time. And I'm concerned that Scott Woodward's not going to be able to find a competent replacement. I think it's going to be a very, very tough sell to a coach for this job at this point. I understand the firing. I don't like how they did it. And now we got to wait, see what's next for LSU basketball and similarly LSU football. Because my belief is not only was this a cost-saving metric, it's why they restructured his contract to be able to fire him for cause, but it was also done to save football. By making basketball the sacrificial lamb, they're going to pray for leniency in football to end the football investigation so that program, the cash cow, can move forward. That might just be the reality LSU's facing today. All right, we got a lot to do today. I'm going to take a lot of your reaction. Look, on a day like this, of course, you take a lot of interaction. So if you want to call us, I will open up the phone lines. If you're patient, I'll get to as many of you as I can all throughout the day today. I mean, it's easier. What do you think? The question is, what do you think about LSU's decision to fire Will Wade? 499-1045. 499-1045 or toll free 844-568-MATT, 844-568-6288. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona or jump to the Bayou YouTube chat on the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. You can always text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. All right, we'll knock out a break, come back, get to some of your interaction in. I do want to talk about who might be next for this basketball job. The day after Selection Sunday, Tigers are dancing, and we're talking about something completely different, such is the case involving LSU basketball right now. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers. All right, y'all, the madness is upon us. You're going to be playing hooky on Thursday and Friday, aren't you? I don't blame you. Best place to be is at Pluckers. Remember, Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall, Louisiana. You know the crazy deal with Turner and TNT and all these crazy channels that you probably never watch for much of the true TV channels. You don't even know what they are. Well, guess what? You got to find them now. You don't have, no worries, Pluckers does. It will have every single NCAA tournament game on all throughout the Big Dance. You need a place to watch, you get by Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus, or Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall, Louisiana. If you're going to be playing hooky on Thursday and Friday, get your spot early, stay there all day, because Pluckers is open till midnight or later every night of the week. Pluckers. Remember, award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV, dine-in, carry-out, and delivery via Uber Eats and DoorDash. Tonight and every Monday, all-you-can-eat wings. Remember, it's at Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorns in stock with 0% APR for 72 months. Shop our inventory or let us custom order your Ram with up to $2,000 bonus cash, million-mile warranty, and more. Shop BayouCDJR.com or visit us off I-10 in La Plaza. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person. Connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
This time a couple of days ago, I didn't think I was going to be sitting here, but in life, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now, a lot of adversity in the world, so, this is a tough situation for everybody, but, right now, I'm charged with the responsibility of getting these young men focused for the task at hand, which is the NCAA tournament on Friday.
It's LSU interim head coach Kevin Nickelberry. Oddly enough, man, Will Wade, despite making the tournament 3 times, and would have been 4, but for the COVID year, only coached in 2 tournament games. Of course, the first year they made the tournament, he was suspended when they made the Sweet 16 run. There was no tournament during the COVID year, and then last year they beat St. Bonaventures, lost to Michigan, and then this year Will won't coach in the tournament again. So he never actually coached in a tournament game that felt like a tournament game, because even last year you were talking about no crowds for the big dance. So just what an odd scenario. But LSU now, this team, going to take on Iowa State on Friday, and the task at hand is to go try to play and win without your head coach, without the guy that recruited you. And Kevin Nickelberry was asked how the team took the news on Saturday.
We found out yesterday, and we talked to the team, and obviously, you're talking about young men. You're talking about, young men who put everything they can into, 6, 7 a.m. practices, into lifting weights and the running and to being successful. Not everyone can have successful years. This team has had some up and downs this year. We started 15-1, and they've gone out and dealt with adversity throughout the year with injuries and other things. And like I told them, a couple years ago, my father died during the season. Sharif O'Neal's grandfather died 2 days ago. He missed a game. These guys have had to deal with a lot of adversity. We have a lot of the guys who have had to deal with things in their life. As you get older, you have to deal with adversity. That's part of life. And this was a tough situation for them. I'm not going to down. It was tough. But, they did a good job of receiving the information. Scott and the president talked with them as well, and by the end of yesterday, they were locked in and focused on, excited about the selection show today and going out and find out who we're going to play.
To that point, Adam Miller, of course, who transferred in from Illinois, tweeted on Saturday, hurts worse than 10 ACL injuries. Also tweeting, hard day for me. From, again, at AceWolf44, that's Adam Miller. And you saw a lot of that. You saw a lot of player support for Will Wade, which sort of underscores the point that I made in the open, which is if you were actually considering the best interest of your student athletes, it's not firing your coach the day before Selection Sunday. When any point over the last 3 years, over the next 3 years, the same opportunity would have been there. So it's certainly disappointing for these players. I mentioned we're going to take a lot of calls, texts, emails, tweets. Feel free to get it in. Want a lot of your reaction to Will Wade's firing, the decision, the timing, all of it. Who do you think's next? It's one of those days where we will take a lot of interaction. I do have some thoughts on the job itself and what direction they go next. We'll get to that. Let's jump on the phones. Will is first. Hey, Will, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you for everything you do for us, Matt. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, man, yeah, it's rough. I think he's the best basketball coach maybe since Dale Brown for us. Took a team that last year was mostly an offensive team into a defensive team this year, kept them in the NCAA. I mean, that's pretty hard to do, I would think, that kind of switch.
Yeah.
But I guess it comes down to they have to protect the cash cow of the football program.
Will, I appreciate the call. And I to be clear, Will alluded to it. I know I did in the beginning as well. I don't think anyone at LSU is ever going to say that publicly, nor should they. But over the last 3 years, and this isn't normally the type of thing that I would do. I mean, you all know I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I loathe conspiracy theories. But over the last 3 years, I personally, have had firsthand conversations with enough coaches, administrators, attorneys, NCAA investigators, reporters who cover the sport nationally. And when everyone sort of shares this idea that the NCAA wants their pound of flesh and they're willing to drag football along if that's what it takes for leverage to get basketball, well, you kind of know where it's going to hit. And I do believe that's part of this. I want to be very clear, abundantly clear. That is my opinion. My opinion is that part of what LSU is doing in firing Will Wade and whatever is going to happen is to salvage football. I mean, you're still talking about we're talking about a football case that dates back to 2012, 10 years, when Vidal Alexander showed up and his dad got paid for a no-show job. 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago. The football investigation was basically wrapped, and then Odell started handing out hundos on the field in the Superdome after the national championship game, and it sort of reopened football, or kept football open, or prolonged it. And as LSU has continued to beg the NCAA to close the book on football, I mean, they've done it publicly with admissions, with self-imposed sanctions, the bowl bans, scholarship reductions. LSU's tried to push the NCAA to this end with football, and they just won't do it. Why? you're looking at it. So my hope is that leniency comes for football as a result of this. I don't know if it will, because the NCAA can do whatever they want, as we've seen. Ask Missouri. Missouri and North Carolina both got embroiled in similar academic scandals. Missouri cooperated. They got hammered. North Carolina didn't cooperate a lick. They got nothing. So be careful cooperating with the NCAA. They can do whatever they want. As far as what's next, I think this is going to be a really, really tough sell for Scott Woodward. We all know Scott's reputation of aiming big, right? Brian Kelly, Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson, Jimbo Fisher, Buzz Williams. Like, that's his MO. We all know it. What accomplished Power 5 coach would leave their current spot for this job? Now, the thing I'll say is, I do believe that Scott has felt this was an inevitability for some time, obvious, as evidenced by the timeline. He's known as soon as that NOA came, brother, they were moving on. So he's got his list, whoever's on it. But bluntly, who's going to want this job? Like, look at who realistically would want this job. I've had some people mention to me Scott Drew. Well, the connection, obviously, is Scott Drew, who's the coach at Baylor, won a natty. They're a 1 seed in this tournament. His father, Homer Drew, was a longtime assistant at LSU under Dale Brown. Wonderful. Why would he leave Baylor for here? And you're going to say, well, Kim Mulkey. Kim Mulkey was a literally unique scenario where her mother lives in Hammond. It was an opportunity to come closer to home. They were paying her a boatload of money, and she didn't get along with the new administration at Baylor. Didn't feel appreciated. Okay. So it worked. It doesn't really seem like that's the case with Scott Drew at Baylor. He's been there since 2003. He's built that program. He just won a national championship. He's a 1 seed. Why would you leave that to take on a program that's about to be embroiled in sanctions and potential scholarship reductions and bowl ban? Like, why? Why would you take that job? I had somebody mention to me, what about Kelvin Sampson? Kelvin Sampson's done a great job at Houston. Fantastic basketball coach. I mean, he had Oklahoma with Buddy Hield ranked number 1 in the country. But he went to Indiana, and he got popped for violations there. Got a show cause. Dude got a show cause. So you're going to fire Will Wade and then hire a coach that's already been fired because of NCAA violations? There's no way. Really, your only path is to go the mid-major route. It's basically to do what you did in 1997 when you hired John Brady from Samford. I mean, that is your option. You're going to have to go, hopefully, convince a mid-major coach why this job is the one they want to take, even with the sanctions. And someone will, because LSU is going to pay a lot of money. But I don't think that pool of candidates is going to be very deep. You know, it's different if it were Kentucky or Duke or North Carolina or Kansas or UCLA, a blue blood in college basketball where the fan base, the resources, the support is always going to be there. That's not LSU basketball. This is a program where when they win, people are excited. When they lose, people don't care. They get apathetic. It's the opposite in football, where you win a national championship and a year and a half later they're firing the coach because he's got back-to-back 500 seasons. It's not tolerated. Basketball, it's So I think Scott Woodward has a very tough job on his hand here to try to go sell this job to the right coach. See where they land. But I mean, it would have to be either a mid-major who's looking for the opportunity to step up into the Power 5, make a couple $1 million a year, or someone that's out of coaching. Some people have thrown out, like, what about Andy Kennedy? He's an experienced SEC coach, but do you go that route? It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough sell for Scott Woodward. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. So we'll keep the phone lines open all throughout the show today. So if you want to join us, you can. 499-1045, 499-1045. We'll talk a lot about Will Wade, let you get your reaction in to the news that he's fired, to Will Wade's era in Baton Rouge, who should be next. If you want to join us, the lines are open, 499-1045. or toll free 844-568-MATT, 844-568-6288. Tweet us, email us, text us, lots of ways you can get involved. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Of course, the newest location is in the LP. They're in Denham Springs on LA 16. If you need tires, you need Shawbills. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. No one will sell you the best tires on the road for cheaper prices than Shawbills. They guarantee it. Go to the website, hit the promotions tab at the top, and you'll see all of the dealer specials that they have. Sometimes it's the manufacturer's offer. Sometimes it's a manufacturer's offer coupled with the Shawbills in-house offer. But they will find a way to get you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. That's at Shawbills. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, we'll go around the SEC when we return next and more of your interaction. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Ultimate Bracket Challenge, presented by Acura of Baton Rouge and Coors Light. Register and make your picks before the games begin Thursday at 1045ESPN.com. First place wins $2,022 cash and Coors Light swag. Find more information on other great prizes and to register, visit 1045ESPN.com.
We were keeping an eye on former Notre Dame tight end George Takis. Remember him entered the transfer portal, and because LSU is sort of a tight end needy program, we thought that might be a pretty natural fit considering he played for Brian Kelly in South Bend. Not going to happen. George Takis has transferred to Boston College. He's enrolled in school, eligible immediately as a grad transfer. Played a ton of snaps for Notre Dame, just wasn't a great pass catcher, sort of more traditional tight end. Seemingly would have fit at LSU for what they're doing, but I think obviously with the addition of Jaden Daniels at quarterback, the biggest need remaining on this LSU roster is help at tight end. We'll see if they can get it in the transfer portal. All right, it's after further review. Talking a ton about Will Wade and his future. Bernard Snyder texted the show, said the players got screwed by the firing of Will Wade. Hope it motivates them and doesn't take the wind out of their sails. That's a very fair point. I mean, not how you react to something like this is doesn't it really feel like it's going to go one of two ways? They're either going to use it to motivate them to play hard and go out there and give great effort, or it's sort of a defeatist, just go out there, roll the ball out for 40 minutes and call it a year. I don't know what they're going to do. I'd like to think they're going to go play really hard. LSU a couple of years ago, as we mentioned, was in the NCAA tournament without Will Wade, made it to a Sweet 16. Maybe this team could do the same. We'll go around the SEC in just a second. Chad is up. Thanks for waiting, Chad. Go ahead.
Hey, Matt. How you doing? Long time listener. Love the show. Glad you're taking calls.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
I was listening earlier. I just wanted a little clarification. I know you mentioned some coaches, and for instance, what was the Arizona coach? Scotty Miller.
Sean Miller. Yeah.
Oh, Sean Miller. Yeah.
He has been fired since, Chad, but he was fired because they stunk on the floor. But he survived the initial onslaught of this whole. I mean, Book Richardson was his assistant who got fired and was embroiled in all of it, that sort of thing.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and a specific point you had made, I didn't realize because I was wondering why he didn't get fired over the wiretap, but you had said something about that his voice actually wasn't on the wiretap, and I was just wanted some clarification. So is it because Wade's voice was on the wiretap?
I mean, Chad. That's my. I mean, I don't know if you agree with this, but it's my theory as to why we would all agree within this entire investigation, the public pressure, the public noise, the public heat has been hottest around Will Wade and LSU over the last 3 years. Right? That's fair.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we would all agree. I mean, I don't even think that's
well,
big.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Of course. I found funny that it actually it kind of faded away for a little while, and then now it just all of a sudden, boom, he's fired.
Well, it's because they got the notice of allegations. I mean, that was the formal next step in the process. Chad, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, Book Richardson was Sean Miller's fall guy at Arizona. Chuck Person was Bruce Pearl's fall guy at Auburn. I mean, that's the big difference, is that those coaches were just as involved in all of this as Will Wade was at LSU. Allegedly, but they had their fall guy. And Will, allegedly, was right in the middle of it. All right, it's after further review. Brought to you by Relief Windows, title sponsor of our Monday shows. Great folks over at Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The South Carolina Gamecocks.
South Carolina has fired Coach Frank Martin after 10 seasons. Official announcement expected later in the day today. Martin really spent the last 2 seasons on the hot seat. He survived last year, actually got a contract extension, but went 18-13 overall this year, 9-9 in the league, and the school has opted to move on from Frank Martin after 10 years in Columbia, where the Gamecocks made just one NCAA tournament, but that trip in 2017 did result in the school's first ever Final Four.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
How about this wacky scenario over the weekend? Georgia's hired Florida's Mike White as its next basketball coach. We knew that Mike White was on uneven ground in Gainesville, but this was a move I don't think many anticipated. The Bulldogs fired Tom Crean after 4 years on Thursday and moved very quickly to secure Mike White. Georgia reached out to Florida around noon on Sunday for permission to speak with White. They connected via Zoom, and White informed Florida officials at 4 o'clock Central that he was leaving. Georgia will pay Florida about $1.25 million in buyout money. White's been at Florida for 7 years. They made 4 NCAA tournaments, would have been 5, but for the COVID year. And Georgia, meanwhile, has not made the tournament since 2015, hasn't won a tournament game since 2002. Mike White, leaving Florida, headed to Georgia.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
On the football field, Clark Lee needed a new defensive coordinator, and he found it in-house. Nick Howell is the Commodores' new DC, just weeks after Clark Lee had hired him to coach the defensive backs for the Commodores. Howell replaces Jason Minter, who left for the same job at Michigan. Howell has spent the last 6 years as the defensive coordinator at Virginia. Prior to that, worked 9 seasons at BYU, from a defensive intern to defensive coordinator with 8 bowl games in that span. All right, yesterday was Selection Sunday, so we know where the SEC teams are headed. 6 teams are going dancing. Tennessee's a 3 seed. They will host the 14 seed Longwood. Kentucky, they net a 2 seed. Forgive me, Tennessee's going to play at 1:45 Central on Thursday. These are the Thursday games. Tennessee against Longwood. Kentucky as a 2 seed will play St. Peter's. That's a 6:10 Central tip-off on Thursday. And then Arkansas, they land a 4 seed. They'll play the 13 seed Vermont. Tough draw for Arkansas. That's going to be an 8:20 Central Time tip-off on Thursday. 3 games on Friday for the league as second seeded Auburn will play Jacksonville State. That's an 11:40 a.m. game on Friday. Alabama is waiting for its opponent via play-in, but that game is going to happen at 3:15 Central on Friday. And then the last SEC team in the field, of course, LSU, a 6 seed. Let me rephrase. The last team in the field from the SEC to play will be LSU Friday night against Iowa State at 6:20 Central Time. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com. 45 years in business. 45 years in business and doing it the right way. If you need office equipment, hire the best. Hire Gulf Coast Office Products. gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, it's after further review. Obviously, a lot of reaction and interaction coming in after Will Wade's firing over the weekend. And really the question of who's next for LSU. Chuck Brouillette texted the show and said, I think the LSU job may be a better sell than a lot of people think, because basically with the new NIL, you no longer punish teams for paying players. That, while I understand that, and that does level the playing field a lot, the difference, Chuck, that you got to appreciate is whoever takes this job is taking a job not knowing what the sanctions are that are inevitably coming, right? I mean, we all agree at this point that LSU basketball is going to get hit with sanctions, be it scholarship restrictions, postseason ban. Whoever takes this job in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like, those punishments aren't going to be known. So someone is going to take this job blindly without knowing what the next year, 2 years, 3 years may look like for this basketball program. That's going to be a tough sell for Scott Woodward. And why would an experienced, accomplished coach in a stable position leave that for the relative instability of LSU? Or NIL, regardless. To your point, it will theoretically be easier for LSU to come back because transfer portal, NIL, all that stuff's very true. But there is an ambiguous amount of time where it's uncertain how LSU is going to be affected because of the impending sanctions that we all feel are inevitably coming. All right, it's after further review. Call us, text us, email us, tweet us. Lots of ways that you can get involved in the show. Feel free to do it. Of course, you can tweet us at Matt Moscona or jump at the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Okay, let me knock out our final break here of hour number 1. We are, by the way, we got tons of LSU basketball stuff to talk today. So I do want to talk a little bit about the Iowa State matchup. The ladies are dancing as well. They're a 3-seed. First 2 games will be at the Maravich Center. Doug Thompson's going to be with us in his spot in hour 3 to recap the weekend series out at the box. When we come back, we do have an update on Blake Money. I want to get to that in a little bit. And in 15 minutes, right at the start of hour 2, I want to talk about Deshaun Watson because reports this weekend the Saints are actively and aggressively pursuing the Texans quarterback. I got some thoughts. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
We are brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of LSU athletics, where at Rouse's, this feels like home. Rouse's locations all over Louisiana, and of course, all over the greater Baton Rouge area as well. Friday, I was hanging out at the Burbank location. Rouse's makes it so easy. First of all, if you want crawfish, grab and go. They got it. If you walk into Rouse's, you go to the left to the seafood market. They've got the hot boiled sort of kiosks. They've already got the crawfish bag, tagged, priced, everything. Grab it, take it to the register. Easy. That's at Rouse's. They have live and boiled crawfish at Rouse's. So get to any of your Rouse's location. You feel like crawfish tonight, they got you. And you want cold beer, they got their big walk-in beer cooler, all of your domestics, of course, your imports, and all of your local favorite craft beer as well. It's at Rouse's. Amazing wine selection. Grab and go dinner and anything you'd want on the grocery side of the store as well. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of LSU athletics. Great partner of ours here at AFR, where they got crawfish at Rouse's. This feels like home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
Are you looking for a new vehicle? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, where you'll never pay over MSRP. There's no markups and no games. You can reserve yours today. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier. My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Switch hitter hitting from the left side against the right-handed pitcher. Berry drills one deep into right field. You can forget about this one. It is out of here off the Intimidator.
My goodness gracious, Jacob Berry, what a weekend for the Arizona transfer. He had 500 in the 4 games last week. When you throw in the Tuesday night outing as well, why do we even try? Why do we even try to do creative things when none of this stuff ever works? Anyway, Jacob Berry, for his efforts, by the way, where he hit 500 for the week, and on the weekend against Bethune-Cookman was 7 of 13. So he had 538 with 2 homers, 4 RBIs, 6 runs scored. For his efforts, Jacob Berry has been named the National Player of the Week by Collegiate Baseball Magazine, and so deserving. Jacob Berry, at the very beginning of this season, it felt like he was pressing a bit. Maybe not. Maybe there might be a moment during his time here where he might acknowledge that was the case. Maybe not. But it felt like early he was pressing a bit. But he has really settled into his groove. And my goodness, this kid from the left side is incredible. I mean, he hit a ball off the Intimidator. It went 442 feet. Yo, 442 feet. He hit it off the Intimidator. It's incredible, man. Like, you see why he's a potential 1-1 guy. When you can hit for average, when you have that type of power, that skill set he has is rare. I know we've all talked a lot about the glove already this year, and maybe it'll come in right field, or maybe it'll be maybe they move back to third base. I don't know, whatever. But that's another issue. The bottom line, keep swinging the bat the way he is. He's going to help LSU win a lot of games. The really big news, though, out of the weekend, LSU did sweep Bethune-Cookman, but the giant news was, if you missed it, on Friday, they moved the game up to noon because of the threat of weather in the area, and they moved the game to noon. Blake Money got the start. He was perfect through 4 innings. Then in the 5th, he left with an arm injury, and it looked bad. I mean, his arm was dangling. Jay Johnson, after the game, said it was a wrist injury. He did update today, and this is courtesy of Leigh Van on Twitter. Jay Johnson, when he met with the media today, said Blake Money, had an intense day of treatment yesterday, which went very good and positive. The only thing I could say is there does not appear to be any kind of length to this injury at all. That's great. He doesn't say definitively if they expect Blake Money to pitch this weekend or whatever it may be, but the initial fear we all had when Blake Money pulled himself from the game and his arm was dangling, it doesn't appear to be the thing we all feared it might be. So that is the singular best news from the weekend about LSU baseball. Look, you swept 3 games. You played pretty well. The 8-7 game, you got down. You had to rally back. They did. On Saturday, it was nice to see Ty Floyd get out there and extend 1 earned run on 2 hits in his 6 innings. Also struck out a career-high 8. Raiselman came out of the bullpen and finished it. He struck out a career-high 7. So to see him extend was nice. Jay Johnson, after that game, said, look, it was just kind of like a workmanlike game. You just held them down offensively, and you got some timely hits when you needed it. Travinsky started that game behind the plate, had a beautiful opposite field double in the gap, threw out a runner at second base. So while Milazzo is injured, it's good to know that you have that option in Travinsky potentially behind the plate. And then, of course, yesterday, Mikhail Hilliard pitched and went 6 shutout innings, allowed just 2 singles, didn't walk anybody, struck out 6. So it was nice to see Mikhail Hilliard get back out there as well. And maybe, just maybe, that's how they set it up for this weekend against Texas A&M. If Blake Money's able to go, maybe you go Money, Floyd, Hilliard. And I think you can win a lot of series with that rotation, given the depth in your staff and the number of guys you feel like you can count on to hand the ball to and get you out. So seeing a lot of guys in a lot of different roles, and they're trying to figure it out and piece it together right now. But Tigers go win 3. They got Tulane tomorrow at the box, And then Texas A&M comes in for a weekend series to open up SEC play. The new look Aggies with Jim Schlossnagle, the former TCU coach, they'll be at the box this weekend, open up conference play. Hard to believe, man. The SEC play is already here for LSU baseball. Tigers going in with a little bit of momentum. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. We'll knock out our final break. We'll knock out a break here. We'll get you caught up on national headlines from SportsCenter. When we come back, I want to delve into the Deshaun Watson conversation. We're going to get back to Will Wade. We're going to preview LSU, Iowa State in the next hour as well. But when we come back after SportsCenter, I want to talk about Deshaun Watson. How realistic is it for New Orleans? What's it going to cost? We're going to get into all that coming up right after SportsCenter on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, or southpointvw.com. You know, you drive around town and you see so many car dealerships with empty lots. It's a bizarre sight, isn't it? Not at South Point Volkswagen. They have inventory, and they actually have more inventory on the way. And if you want to act preemptively, you can log on to the website right now, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Go to southpointvw.com, and you can see the inventory that's on its way right now to the dealership. And you can reserve that vehicle now. Don't wait for it to get to the lot. Reserve it now. You can even work out your financing online at southpointvw.com. Just hit finance at the top of the page, southpointvw.com. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, 9 IIHS top safety picks, new or certified pre-owned. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt, and Hill, The Early Line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. Shop now at BayouFord.com. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Free agent quarterback Mitchell Trubisky told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler he plans to sign a 2-year contract with the Steelers. It's a good move by Pittsburgh to bring in Trubisky to compete for the starting job, says ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
He started 50 games in the NFL. He's completed 64% of his passes. He started 2 playoff games. And if he was in this year's draft, in my opinion, he'd be the first quarterback drafted. So if I'm Pittsburgh, I know you're saying, well, wow, we're going from Ben Roethlisberger to Mitch Trubisky. But with the 20th pick, it doesn't rule out that they can still draft another quarterback as well.
The Saints and Panthers will be meeting with Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson over the next 48 hours, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. The number of teams interested in Watson increased on Friday after a grand jury in Houston declined to indict him on criminal charges of sexual assault and inappropriate conduct. He still faces 22 civil lawsuits. The Braves acquiring first baseman Matt Olson from the A's, which likely means Atlanta won't re-sign free agent Freddie Freeman. Padres shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. likely needs surgery on a broken wrist, could miss up to 3 months. South Carolina's fired men's basketball coach Frank Martin after 10 seasons.
Need to spring back in the hiring season? You need Indeed, the smart hiring platform that delivers 4 times more hires than all other sites combined, according to Talent Nest. Post a job and hire ASAP. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Maybe you're just knocking off work, jumping aboard. Glad you're with us. Spent a lot of hour one talking about Will Wade, the decision to fire him now, where LSU goes from here, taking tons of your interaction. We'll get back to that in about 15 minutes. And I do want to talk about at least an early look at LSU's game on Friday against Iowa State. Tigers are in a 6 seed for the big dance, and they'll take on Iowa State up in Milwaukee on Friday. So we'll get into all that. One gigantic story over the weekend is the Saints' reported interest in Deshaun Watson. And there are different layers to that. So a week ago, we started checking boxes, right? When you start to see deals get done, when Russell Wilson gets traded to Denver, well, you scratch Denver off the list, right? When Carson Wentz goes to Washington, you scratch Washington off the list. You start to basically, you're playing this game of musical chairs, and you realize the number of chairs, i.e. quarterbacks, is diminishing. And a few more now have been filled. The Miami Dolphins are signing Teddy Bridgewater. This was a backup plan that many Saints fans discussed as a possibility. If you couldn't get a deal done with Jameis, do you do a 1-year sort of Band-Aid with Teddy Bridgewater, and then next year try to find your long-term solution in the draft, potentially? Well, that's off the table, as Teddy Bridgewater is now headed to Miami. We've talked a lot about the possibility of the Pittsburgh Steelers being interested in Jameis Winston. They reportedly wanted to sign Jameis when he picked New Orleans. Well, it doesn't seem like that's going to be likely. The Pittsburgh Steelers have agreed to a 2-year contract with former number 3 overall pick Mitchell Trubisky. So Trubisky, who spent this past year with Buffalo, is now headed to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That leaves a pretty sizable question for Jameis Winston, because as more jobs are filled and fewer jobs remain, it looks more and more like Jameis returning to New Orleans is the play. That is, of course, unless the Saints have other ideas, and it would certainly seem like they do. We're reports over the weekend that the Saints were among the teams interested in Deshaun Watson. And earlier Monday, Adam Schefter tweeted, Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson is expected to meet in the next 48 hours with the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints, among other teams, per league sources. Watson wants to meet with them just as they want to meet with him before trade talks ramp up. So expect a meeting between the Saints and Deshaun Watson sometime in the next 48 hours. Some of you might roll your eyes and say, why would you want to go down that path? I would love to address that, Will. But the first gigantic question to ask is, what is it going to cost? And that's where trade conversations have to begin. What is it going to cost? We, for many months throughout the football season, had Sean Salisbury, who played quarterback in the NFL, and of course hosts mornings on Sports Talk 790 in Houston, knows the Deshaun Watson situation well, the Texans very well, and he many times went through the king's ransom that the Texans were going to want for Deshaun Watson. Well, Ian Rappaport on the NFL Network today discussed what that price might be.
First of all, the market. It is a strong market for Deshaun Watson. The Houston Texans and general manager Nick Caserio have been waiting, biding their time and making sure that the market is what they had hoped. And it is. It's 3 first-rounders and more for Deshaun Watson. That is what they're going to get. The offers are varying and include a couple different parts, but the basic value should be somewhat similar. Watson also has a no-trade clause, so he gets to be the one deciding, ultimately, will I do this trade or will I not? That is why over the course of the next couple of days, he wants to meet with these teams, see where we are, see which team he can buy into, and then ultimately make a decision to leave it to the Texans to finish out.
That is the part about Deshaun Watson having the no-trade clause. That is the underscore, bold font, the most important part of this. Because if the New Orleans Saints can convince Deshaun Watson why this is the best situation for him, then it doesn't matter what another team offers if Watson's not willing to waive his no-trade clause. Deshaun Watson has the leverage here. The Houston Texans don't. Ultimately, you have to put forth an offer that the Texans are willing to do, but it doesn't matter if a team with a better first-round pick, for example, the Carolina Panthers, their first-round pick, and remember, the Texans already have the number 3 pick. You know, Carolina's pick is number 6 overall. The other teams reportedly interest, Cleveland's got the 13th pick. Philly's got the 15th, 16th, and 19th picks. The Saints have the 18th pick. So the Saints have the least valuable first-round pick, but it may be the most desirable situation for Deshaun Watson. I know right now, I know what a lot of you are saying right now. I know it. I can hear you. I hear voices in my head. I can hear your voice. I hear what you're saying. 3 first-round picks? No way would I give up 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. Let me ask you a question. Would you trade Peyton Turner, Cesar Ruiz, and Marcus Davenport for Deshaun Watson? I would. Sometimes as fans, we become so enamored with picks. I'm more interested in an all-pro caliber quarterback in his bleeping prime. Freak show. 26 years old. Threw for 4,800 yards 2 seasons ago. Give me that guy. Give me a proven stud. Not just a guy, a stud. Not Kirk Cousins. Like, dude that could be the best in the league caliber at 26 years old. Give me that guy. And if it costs me 3 first-round picks, I'll figure it out because the rest of my roster built around him right now is pretty damn good. My defense is one of, if not the best in the NFL. My offensive line, when healthy, is set. I got Mike Thomas coming back. You can certainly supplement in free agency this year. I don't care about 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. Take them. But that's a starting point. 3 ones. A lot of people are saying that if you just look at the Russell Wilson trade, it's probably going to include a couple of twos and a player or players. So what player or players would make the most sense? That's where you got to look at contracts. And that's the important part that a lot of people are going to overlook whenever they start talking about this. Because if there's a player with a giant dead cap number, it's not going to make sense. Like Michael Thomas's dead cap number is $37 million. He ain't going to be part of any trade. Cam Jordan's dead cap number is $34 million. Marshawn Lattimore's dead cap number is $40 million. When the Saints go and restructure these deals, that's how they make it work, right? But you're not going to trade that player and eat that salary number, right, against the cap. So those players are off the board. So who might be a possibility? Look at guys like maybe an Eric McCoy, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Young guys on a rookie deal that are established players that you know are starting caliber players that are affordable. If they can agree to a long-term deal in Houston, be part of a trade, would make a lot of sense. I would hate to see those guys go. If you want me to play out a hypothetical, if you trade Eric McCoy, you move Cesar Ruiz to center. That's his more natural position. He's not a very good guard in the NFL. Might be a better center. It's just that McCoy's one of the best centers in the league. I'd hate to lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But the Saints were without him for a handful of games this year, and I think that defense will manage. I love him. I think he's a great young player. I'd love him to spend his whole career here. But if that's what I have to give up to get Deshaun Watson, I will, because, y'all, I don't think any of us are interested in seeing the Saints win games. We've seen them win games. We want to see the Saints win championships. You're not competing for a championship with Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill and Ian Book. Jameis, maybe, provided he comes back from the knee, continues to improve, all that. Like, Deshaun Watson is a no-brainer. You're talking about one of the best players at the most important position in organized team sports in his prime. The opportunity like this never happens. Never happens. And it's just because of this confluence of weird circumstances that he and the organization don't get along and he's available. Not 36, 26. You got him for the next decade. What does it cost? Who cares? I was willing to do the Russell Wilson deal that Denver did. You talking about Deshaun Watson? Give me that 10 days out of 10. Now, the other part of the conversation is the moral, ethical part of the conversation. That some are going to say, well, why would you want that guy leading your franchise considering what he did? I want to remind you something. And I do my best in this chair to always be mindful of the fact that in this country, there is a presumption of innocence until guilt is proven. The burden of proof falls on the accuser. And in this case, from the criminal portion, there wasn't even enough evidence to indict Deshaun Watson by a grand jury. And I said this on Friday. I'll say it again for those that missed it then. There was an old saying in newsrooms and in courtrooms and circles like that, that a grand jury would indict a ham sandwich. It is relatively easy to get an indictment. That's just bringing the charges, so there would be a legal proceeding. That's not finding him guilty. That's just bringing the charges. They didn't even have to bring charges against him. Now, there's a smaller burden of proof in the civil case, and maybe they just settle that to make it go away. I don't know what will happen. But you have to presume the man is innocent. You have to. That's legally what we do in this country. And I'm not going to convict him sans any evidence other than he said, she said. That's one. If something else comes to light, we'll revisit it. But given the information you have right now, you proceed as you would. The other part of it is, you got a guy on the Saints roster right now who's been involved in domestic abuse. Carl Granderson. That's why he went undrafted out of Wyoming. Nobody really talks about that. Anybody in Cincinnati super conflicted with Joe Mixon playing running back for him in the Super Bowl this year? Or were they cheering for him every time he'd get a big run or score? I'm not trying to play the moral relativity game here, y'all. I understand it. And there are things bigger in life than football and sports. I completely agree. But in this instance, this man has not been convicted of anything. They couldn't even bring legal charges against him by a grand jury. So I am comfortable moving forward unless new evidence comes to light, which is why you're seeing teams willing to move forward now. They were in a holding pattern, and now it's all systems go. If that's the case, and the price has been stated of what it would cost to get Deshaun Watson, the Saints have to do their dead level best to sell Deshaun Watson on why this is the best place. Because they'll have other options. But you have to convince him why he wants to be here instead of in Carolina or in Philly. Not Pittsburgh anymore, but of the other spots, places that might have been interested in Deshaun Watson. Why does he want to be here? And I think that's going to take the effort, not only the Saints, but the business community in New Orleans that would rally and want him to do endorsement deals in New Orleans and other business opportunities here for him that would make him say, yes, I want to be in New Orleans. And then the Texans would take that package from New Orleans. I think this will happen quickly, wherever it will be for Deshaun Watson. But in the next 48 hours, he'll be in Carolina and he'll be in New Orleans. Let's hope the Saints put their best foot forward. But whatever it costs to get Deshaun Watson, do it. You will not hear me on this show complain at all about whatever it is the Saints spend to get that man to be the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Because if you get him, you get a top 5 player at the most important position in organized team sport in his prime at 26 years old, who is your dude for the next decade plus. Do it. Do it and don't even think twice. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're with us here. I'm not going to break. Come back. Talked plenty about Will Wade. Want to talk about LSU basketball in the tournament. We'll take a look at LSU, Iowa State, get some of your reaction as well. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. And that's where you'll find great technicians like Bellamy. This review came in from Ron Rendon, 5-star review from just 2 days ago. Said, Bellamy is obviously a very skilled technician. He listened to me. He told me what he was going to do. Then he told me why things needed to be changed or fixed. And I'm as happy as can be. Exceeded my expectations for a good job and or evaluation of my system. That's what you hear every day from River City's 1 Hour Air. For 40 years, they've taken care of homes in the greater Baton Rouge area. River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side, and you'll be as thrilled as I am, as Mr. Ron Rendon was, and everyone else who leaves these 5-star Google reviews. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice.
Had a whole top diamond in the bottom rose gold.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Come out to Uncle Earl's Saturday, March 19th for the official wearing of the Green Parade after party Earlapalooza. Live performances from Nelly, Parish County Line, Flo Rida, and Manny Fresh. Tickets must be purchased online and are available at uncleearls.com. Keep listening to Hunt and Hill 12 to 2 for your lucky chance to win a pair of tickets to this show.
So I need to add two things. Number one, you missed one, which is DJ Diesel.
Oh, man, they took him out of the promo.
So Shaq, unless that's changed.
He was in the other one. He's not in this one, so I don't know.
Unless that's changed. But Shaq is set to do a DJ set. And let's just say that I happen to know the organizers very well. And as you would expect with a hip-hop show, there is a special guest. Not on the flyer, but a special guest set to make an appearance.
Who is it?
I'm not. I will not. I absolutely will not tell. You could guess a million times and you could nail it a million times. I'm never going to tell you who it is. Never going to tell you who it is. Seriously, I would not ruin that for these people. But very exciting. Very exciting. Some potent Noir. Love it. I think it's supposed to be Pinot Noir, but potent Noir is good as well.
Hey.
It all tastes the same, doesn't it?
To each their own.
It tastes the same.
To each their own.
So good. I love grills. Grills. I love Pimp Juice.
Great song.
I think Pimp Juice is my favorite Nelly song. If we're not going just old school like country grammar,
whole album was phenomenal.
The whole album country grammar, yes, but I mean the song country grammar. Yeah. Give it to me, all of it. Nelly, incredible. Air Force Ones.
Call me George Foreman because I'm selling everybody grills.
Yes. The best line of the song is the Bill and yes.
You can't say that one.
Yep. Why not? It's just innuendo.
Say it.
Got a bill in my mouth like I'm Hillary Rodham.
So good.
It is so good.
So good.
I love it. It's so good. All right, it's after further review. Wait, crank that part up. In your head. I love that part. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here with us, having some fun on a Monday. Will Wade was fired over the weekend, spent the bulk of hour one talking about that, and we will continue to take your interaction. Calls, texts, emails, tweets. Feel free to jump aboard if you want to react to it. We also learned that LSU is a 6 seed. So given that they were bounced from the SEC tournament in the second round, I guess in the third round, because the first round technically was a bye, but bounced by Arkansas, we were sort of unsure where LSU would land in the field, but where they landed is where I think many of us thought they would, right? We talked a lot last week that the ceiling for LSU seemed to be a 5. Once they beat Alabama and then Missouri, it certainly was going to push them out of that 8-9 game. A bad loss, a bad loss to Missouri might have bumped you into that 8-9 game, or maybe the basement would have been a 7. But as it is, LSU ends up a 6 seed. They're certainly deserving. I give Will Wade a ton of credit for that. As we've talked about a bunch, he's a guy that because at LSU, you're not going to get the pre-conference games with Duke and North Carolina and Kansas. You have to basically play. It's math. Will's talked about it a bunch. How he organized the schedule. Schedule teams that you know are going to win 20-plus games in their league. It's going to help you in the net ranking. And he did that, and LSU's 12-0 start buoyed their RPI throughout the season. And then, of course, you had some really nice wins against Kentucky and against Tennessee and late in the season against Alabama. And you had teams like A&M continue to win, so your 2 wins against them kept looking better throughout the year. You only had the 1 bad loss at home against Ole Miss. So LSU is where they, in total, about where they deserve to be as a 6 seed. So LSU's a 6 seed, and they take on the 11 Iowa State. Iowa State's an interesting team because Steve Prohm was there and had a lot of success at Iowa State during his time at Iowa State. But last year, man, they won 2 games a year ago. Iowa State was 2-22 a year ago. Not 2 conference games, 2 games total. They were miserable. So a nice bounce back for Iowa State to get to 20-12 on this season, to punch their ticket to the big dance. Oddly enough, though, they won only 7 conference games this year. So, for a team that's 20-12 overall, but won just 7 league games, they had to rely on the strength of some nice wins, which they got along the way. They beat Xavier in the pre-conference, which was a ranked opponent. They got a win at Memphis, which was top 10 at the time in the pre-conference when they beat them. And then in conference, they beat Texas Tech at home. They got a nice home win over Texas as well. So there were a couple of nice wins on the resume. And then when you play a really tough Big 12 schedule, it's going to buoy your entire resume. You've probably heard this a bunch today, and you're going to hear it a bunch more before the game on Friday. Iowa State's a miserable offensive team. They rank 328th in the country in points per game. They average 66 points per game. They are terrible. They don't score the basketball. When we talk about it, it kind of reminds me of how we would talk about Missouri this year from the SEC. Now, Iowa State's got a much better resume, obviously, than Missouri. I mean, they're warranted of being in the NCAA tournament. But when you look at some of these scores this year, it's rough going. Of course, I'm trying to pull up their schedule now to run through it. I mean, they scored 51 against Texas Tech in the win. They scored 61 against Kansas, 60 in a loss to Texas Tech, 44 in a loss to TCU. They scored 41 in their loss at Texas, 54 in their win at TCU, a 54-51 ball game. They lost to Oklahoma State 53-36. They scored 36 points in the whole game. They're bad. They're bad offensively, but they're really good defensively. They allow 63 points a game. So you have 2 of the best defensive teams in college basketball squaring off in this game on Friday. So we're going to go much deeper dive in it as we move through it. Isaiah Brockington he's a 6'4" guard. He's their best player. He's a 17-7 guy, transferred in from Penn State. So it really feels like you limit Brockington. I don't know what in other way they beat you. If LSU comes out with great defensive effort, they should win this game. If they win the game, they'll play the winner of Wisconsin and Colgate, likely Wisconsin. So either way, it looks like you're going to go back-to-back really good defensive teams, how that all plays out. So Kevin Nickelberry did meet with the staff and met with the media on Sunday after LSU learned of its bid. And he was very clear that although the circumstance of Will Wade it's unfortunate, but his team is going to be ready to play, and they know what their focus is.
I feel confident that this staff can lead these young men to, even in these challenging times, can lead them to where they want to be. They've had a great year. These guys have earned the right to be here. Obviously they were heartbroken, but these guys are resilient. They know the task at hand, and we're gonna love them up, and we're gonna make sure that they know that at the end of the day, adversity will bring us together, bring us closer. We'll play together. We'll play for LSU. We play for their families. And more importantly, we will play with integrity and play with character. And I can promise you that. We'll go out and we're going to play for LSU. We're going to play for those letters on our front of our jerseys. Those guys are committed to that. They're excited about this opportunity. My staff is excited about this opportunity. This is easy for us. I mean, this is what we do. This basketball is what we do. Yes, it's been a tough couple of days, but at the end of the day, you're asking us to go out and play basketball. And we've been very successful this year playing basketball.
Kevin Nickelberry, he said all the right things when he met with the media yesterday. This is a guy who in his career has been a head coach already. He was the head coach at both Howard and Hampton universities. So a guy that's been in the main chair on the bench, and he'll get to do it in the NCAA tournament coming up Friday in Milwaukee when LSU takes on Iowa State at 6:20 p.m. By the way, I would like to sincerely thank the TV networks and the selection committee for putting the LSU-Iowa State game at 6:20 p.m. on Friday and not during AFR, because I will tell you selfishly, there is nothing worse in this business than doing a show while the team you cover is playing, because it feels like you were just talking into an abyss. So I will very much enjoy Friday's show leading up to the tournament game and not competing with the tournament game. All right, it's after further review. Got open phone lines. If you want to talk Will Wade's firing, here's your chance to get in. 499-1045, 499-1045, 499-1045, or toll free 844-568-MATT. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Got a text on the show text line earlier today that just said, cheap car insurance, ? What they were referring to, of course, was Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. Tell you every single day, better coverage for less money. Look, we all see what's going on in the world right now. Inflation is absurd. The value of the dollar is decreasing. How about make your dollar go further? If you can find a way, some way, to ease your financial burden, why wouldn't you explore it? That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. We all have to pay for insurance, and too many of us are overpaying and or underinsured. Insurance Network of Louisiana. This process is so easy. And there is no fine print. There is no catch. They shop for free to see if they can get you better coverage for less money. Call them. 293-0450, 293-0450.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from Barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, y'all, yesterday was Selection Sunday. Teams have been picked. The biggest tournament of the year. Only a few days left to join in on the action before tip-off Thursday. DraftKings Sportsbook giving new customers a shot to bet just $5. Bet just $5. Bet just $5 on any team to win, and you will get $200 in free bets if they do. Like, pick a 1 seed to beat a 16, bet $5. They'll give you $200 in free bets if you win. It's that simple. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, but you got to use the promo code Baton Rouge. That's how you claim that offer, and it's also how they know we sent you. So, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5 on any NCAA tournament game. If they win, you get $200 in free bets only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Now, the disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget like Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7. Nailed it. All right. We will get to... I can't see my call screen, by the way. We will get some of your calls here in just a quick second. The Lady Tigers did also... punch their ticket to the big dance. Here was Kim Mulkey talking about watching that selection show yesterday at the Maravich Center with fans present.
You just get excited for people sitting there that are going to get to see a first and second round deal here in the PMAC, the fans. And then you get excited for those players sitting there that have never been a part of this. And that's my excitement. Certainly the competitive spirit comes out in me as we get closer to the games. But great crowd there for the announcement, and it's here. Isn't this going to be fun? No matter how it ends, when it ends, what happens, it's fun.
Lady Tigers will host the first 2 games of the NCAA tournament there at the Maravich Center as a top 16 seed. Tickets are on sale Tuesday at 10 a.m. So if you want to be there to pack the PMAC for the opening round of the NCAA tournament, you can certainly do that. LSU and Jackson State will be Saturday at the PMAC at 4 o'clock, televised on ESPNU. But again, 4 o'clock Saturday at the PMAC for Lady Tigers against Jackson State there to kick off the NCAA tournament on the ladies' side. All right, the men's side, of course, they'll tip off on Friday, but they'll do so without Will Wade. I lost it again, Muso. Tell me, All right, let's go to Trey in Baton Rouge. Trey, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
Hey, Matt. I'm sure that I'm sounding like a lot of other people, but I'm a graduate of LSU. I'm like you. I love my university, so please understand that I'm very biased when I'm about to how I feel. Is there any reason at all why I should feel bad about being almost insulted by the statement put out by the leaders at university, and that I'm supposed to just believe, and that the decision to fire Will Wade at the time was done for the integrity of the program? Or is there any fault at all for the powers that be, I won't name names, the powers that be that put their name on that letter, to just simply say, we want to protect football, we're tired of dealing with this, we're going to part ways with our coach? Is there any fault at all in doing that?
So, to be as blunt as you put it, they're not going to say we want to protect football, obviously, because that's going to be an unspoken thing publicly, even though everybody talks about it in the shadows. But your feeling, Trey, about the statement LSU put out is the same feeling that I had. And I understand there's some people who push back and go, why do you care what the statement says? Well, it does matter. When you're talking about firing a basketball coach, a successful basketball coach, who has, by the way, been insanely popular with the fan base over his 5 years in Baton Rouge, even amid all of the negativity. So, yeah, I think there should have been a better explanation than what William Tate and Scott Woodward put out on Saturday, because none of it actually held water. So the way you felt is the way I felt. Thank you, Trey. I appreciate the call. And he and I are in the same boat. As you know, he mentioned he's an LSU alum. Same. I mean, I want what's best for LSU. And again, I understand if this administration, because of circumstances, felt like this was the best path forward for the whole of the athletic department. Like, I can understand and appreciate that they were put in a very difficult situation and have been for the last 3 years. I can totally understand and appreciate that. What's harder for me to reconcile is how they went about this decision, because it's clear now you get the NOA on Wednesday, Saturday you fire Will Wade, and in the statement you basically say the shroud of negativity, we want to do what's best for the student athletes, but then very clearly state that the decision to fire Coach Wade is not an admission of acceptance of the allegations. And you're saying we're going to go ahead and exhaustively review all of the allegations and the evidence at hand. Well, if that's the case, then why not make this decision to fire Will Wade after you've reviewed all the evidence? You've done your exhaustive search. It's just what it is. We recognize what it is. I would have been so I want to give you the counter, like what I think they should have done. I'm not just going to criticize without giving a suggestion. What I think they should have done is said, when Will Wade was suspended, we met with Coach Wade, and his explanation given 3 years ago was satisfactory enough for us that we were willing to wait and see this investigation through. Upon receipt of the notice of allegations and the evidence provided, the accusations against Coach Wade are so egregious and Coach Armstrong that we cannot proceed with him leading our basketball program. Effective immediately. Okay, like, I could live with that. That's not what they said. They said there's a shroud of negativity. Well, there's been a shroud of negativity for 3 years. They said we're doing what's best for our student athletes. No, you're not. Firing your coach the day before Selection Sunday is not in the best interest of your student athletes. And then acknowledging you're not accepting the allegations as fact. Not the best day for Scott Woodward and for William Tate. Maybe a decision they had to make. I'll grant you that. Maybe because of what the caller said, it's a decision they had to make. Maybe it's one of those things where they know, look, because football is there, because you're talking about lack of institutional control, label, this is a swift, decisive action that we need to make that's going to show enforcement we're serious. Okay, that's the case. Well, tell me that's the case. Say we felt like we needed to make swift, decisive action. That's not what you told me. You told me there's a shroud of negativity. Well, that's existed for 3 years. You could have fired him at any point over the last 3 years if the negativity was too much. Listen, I'm being bold and outspoken about it, while at the same time understanding it's a very difficult situation that LSU's leadership was put in. So I am sensitive to that. You got a popular coach involved in something that's been lingering for years. When is the good time to pull the ripcord? I don't know the answer to that. But if Saturday was it, the explanation for doing so Saturday left a lot to be desired. I think a lot of people would agree with that. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, online at theantiagingclinics.com. As a matter of fact, I went by Aesthetic today. My wife uses a lot of their skincare products. There's medical-grade skincare products, like the Elta MD face wash. I use that in the shower every day. My wife uses this Lytera 2.0. It's just medical-grade skincare supplements. They got great stuff there at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Of course, body contouring, or maybe it's hormone replacement therapy. You want to look and feel like your younger self? They can help at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet and Baton Rouge, Ambassador, Caffrey, and Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. Muso will have Tigers in the pros. We'll talk to Doug Thompson in about 15 minutes from right now, recapping the weekend out at the box as LSU goes 3-0. And midweek game tomorrow against Tulane before they welcome in the Aggies for the start of conference play at the box coming up on Friday. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for being here. It's AFR.
AFR.
And I love telling you about the Baton Rouge General Hospital and all the great services that they have to offer. And among them is their urgent care locations. brgeneral.org is where you can learn more. brgeneral.org. You can see all of where their express care locations are. Remember, you've got one in Dutchtown, and then you've got one on either side of LSU's campus as well. You've got one on Nicholson directly across from Tiger Stadium. And then you've also got the location on Highland just through the south gates of LSU. If you need urgent care, you want to bypass, you can't wait to go to the doctor, it's walk-in urgent care 7 days a week. If it's allergies or animal bites, if it's colds or COVID, if it's fever, ear pain, flu, heartburn, nausea, even if you need an x-ray, they can do all of that at their urgent care locations. brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Learn more about their urgent care locations at brgeneral.org.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, presented by Relief Windows. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Doug Thompson talking some LSU baseball in about 10 minutes from right now. But right now, Musso has Tigers in the Pro.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Over the weekend in the NBA G League, Emmett Williams put together a really solid night for the Agua Caliente Clippers.
Yeah,
22 minutes off the bench, 4 of 10 from the floor for a total of 9 points. Also grabbed 9 rebounds in that game. Had a steal, an assist, and 1 block.
That a boy.
Also over the weekend, Tremont Waters for the South Bay Lakers gave 19 minutes off the bench. Shot 3 of 9 from the floor for a total of 8 points. Added 8 assists, stole the ball 3 times, and grabbed 2 rebounds in that game. Plus 4.
Yeah, he did.
Good. And then the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. That's where you find Cavell Bigby Williams. 16 minutes off the bench, 2 of 4 from the floor for the 4 points. 5 rebounds to round out his night, along with a 1 block shot. Some MLB news, of course. Spring training, guys reporting yesterday and today. We know that Jake Fraley will now be on the move. Fraley being sent to Cincinnati from Seattle as part of a deal for Reds All-Star outfielder Jesse Winker. So Jake Fraley, a new home, the Cincinnati Reds.
Does Fraley still have the beard? Anybody seen him lately?
I haven't. He had it last year, though.
Curious.
Haven't really seen any of them, Matt, because they weren't allowed to use their pictures or anything because of the lockout. Yeah. But Cincinnati continues to be an LSU city, now home to Jake Fraley.
He'll do well there.
He should. He should do very well. The Players' Championship, Monday finish, Matt. When we previewed this last week, you asked, did Sam Burns have a shot? He most definitely had a shot. At one point in the 3rd round, was tied for the lead.
Oh.
Entered today, the final round, just 2 shots back. It just has not gone great for Sam. 2 over par now through 16 holes in his final rounds. Has him at 6 under. Still tied for 15th, but is 7 shots off the lead of Cam Smith at 13 under par.
Son of a bugger.
NBA action tonight for the Tigers. Trailblazers, they're visiting the Hawks, so you might see a little bit of Tremont Waters and Skylar Mays. Nasri, the Timberwolves, visit the Spurs. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Online at lmfj.com. As they say, where Baton Rouge goes to get engaged, but not just Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, 9 locations in all if you are in Baton Rouge. Bocage and the Mall of Louisiana. Online at lmfj.com. lmfj.com. Gentlemen, thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Again, online at lmfj.com. Remember, every single diamond that you buy from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry is gorgeous, sparkling, hand-inspected by a member of the Lee Michaels family before it goes into the case. And every single person that walks through the door gets the Lee Michaels experience. No matter your budget. Don't worry about what you have to spend. Just know that for your special occasion in life, for your big moment, Lee Michaels is there for you, as they have been for thousands of Louisianians over the years. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us here. Putting a button on hour number 2. We'll talk some baseball with Doug Thompson. Coming up here to kick off hour number 3. Tigers get a sweep of Bethune-Cookman. Final tune-up, weekend tune-up. Before they welcome in Texas A&M to open up SEC play. Also, Pels got a win last night. They beat the Houston Rockets, who are right there with the Magic as the worst teams in the NBA, and that coupled with a Lakers loss. Remember, we're scoreboard watching here a bit for the Pels. We do want the Pels to get into the playoffs where they are right now in the 10 seed, but we're also keeping an eye on the Lakers, because if the Lakers finish in the bottom 10 of the league, the Pels would get that pick back. So the Lakers losing last night, coupled with the Pelicans win, certainly helps New Orleans. But we'll scoreboard watch. Continue to cheer for the Pelicans against the Lakers, which should be easy for many in this spot to do. Also, it wouldn't hurt if the Knicks won a game here or there as well. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We're putting a button on hour number 2. Been a busy couple hours. If you miss anything, AFR on demand. Brought to you by Brett Golf. We talked about Will Wade's firing. We've talked plenty about the Saints and Deshaun Watson as well. A busy hour 3 to get to. We'll talk some LSU baseball with Doug Thompson when we get back. And could the Saints pursue Jarvis Landry? A lot to do. Glad you're here. It's AFR. Hour 3 is next.
AFR.
Brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. They do it all over at GMFS Mortgage. And I have to stress what's going on right now, and we all know financially, country is seeing massive inflation. The cost of goods has gone up. Everybody's budget has been stretched tighter than normal. How do you fix it? Well, if you could make more money, that'd be great, but that's just not a reality for everybody in an instant. Maybe one way that you could give yourself some relief is with GMFS Mortgage. Refinance your mortgage. Take advantage of historically low interest rates. Money is still so cheap right now. Maybe you could lower your monthly mortgage payment. When Eric and I refied last year, we lowered our payment $400 a month. It's incredible. I was pumped about that. Shortened the life of our mortgage by 5 years. We skipped 2 mortgage payments. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Another case of Tom Brady's unretiring, convincing Buccaneers free agents to stay in Tampa. The Bucs agreed to re-sign corner Carlton Davis, 3 years, $45 million. Davis returning to Tampa, as center Ryan Jensen did last night. From ESPN's Adam Schefter, Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson is expected to meet with the Panthers and Saints in the next 48 hours. The number of teams interested in Watson increased after a grand jury in Houston declined on Friday to indict him on criminal complaints alleging sexual assault and inappropriate conduct. The Cardinals should be among the teams interested in Watson, believes our Bart Scott.
We know that Houston wants to trade them out of the AFC because they don't want to see him for 10 years. I would trade Kyler Murray.
Here we go.
1 for 1. Maybe I give you a fourth. 1 for 1. I will give you Deshaun Watson, and you can have an MVP candidate.
Part of Barton Hahn, Watson still faces 22 civil lawsuits. The Chargers giving former Patriots cornerback J.C. Jackson a 5-year, $82.5 million deal, reports Adam Schefter.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
R.I.P. to the bud drop. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musa. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock. Quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Made it a little real right there. You're in the bud drop for the first time since, well, you know. Oh, what do we do? Do we keep playing the bud drop?
I don't really want to see it go.
Neither do I. Still my bud.
Yeah.
He's our bud. He is our bud.
Forever and for always.
Our bud.
We'll wait.
I really do love the fact that he just completely leaned into that for like 5 years. That was so good. That was so good. And I wish I remember who the poor jackleg was who was like, how dare you call him Will? Like, he's younger than me. I mean, like, I don't care that he coaches. It's irrelevant.
It's also his name.
His name's Will. Whatever.
Like the guy who freaked out when they called Nick Saban Nick. That guy.
That was Dion.
Yeah. Oh, that was Dion.
Oh, Dion said you don't call Nick Nick.
Because you wouldn't call me Dion.
You wouldn't call me Dion.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's like videos, compilation of everyone saying Nick. Everyone calling him Nick. His name's Nick. He ain't my coach. Anyway. Someone who calls everyone coach, though, is Doug Thompson, because that's apparently a baseball thing. Doug Thompson is with us, as he'll be Mondays here during baseball season. How are you, Doug?
What a clever segue. What a clever segue that was. I do call a lot of people coach. I don't know where I picked that up, but it's been quite some time now. What's going on, man?
Professional radio guy, by the way. But, I mean, Rance does the same thing. I think Coogan does the same thing.
They got it from me. I think they all got it from
Rance,
me.
Coogan, Terrio. I think everybody that played for Skip Bertman does that. That must have been a Bertman era thing.
Honestly, I know it's. Do you know Mickey Parrington?
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, I think it started with Mickey Parrington. He's a big coach guy, right?
Okay.
And he's yeah. So I think honestly that's where it started.
Well,
Maybe Pat Kuntz.
How do you explain someone like Buzzy Heidel calling everybody?
Well, I mean, Buzzy and I play a lot of golf together. We sit in the radio booth for 50 hours a year together. Yeah, so things just migrate over time, especially the great stuff. It's great to call somebody coach, isn't it?
I mean, I guess if you're a coach,
You do it.
No,
You do it. I've heard you.
If I say coach, it's me calling you coach because you call everybody coach, and
Well,
I'm
what
just
about
saying
Terrio?
coach because you
You've
call
never
everybody
said
coach.
to Terrio?
Not in the way that you've all said it. It would have been in the same way I just described that I would say it to you, like mockingly. Like I mock him all the time because every baseball nickname has to end in a Y. Like you'd be Dougie or something like that. I mean, you understand what I'm saying. Like every baseball nickname seemingly ends in a Y.
Or an
Yeah, like Duggar.
Could be an Yeah, it could be that too.
Duggar. Okay, let's talk about the.
That's not why you called though.
No,
right?
that's not. But I enjoy our banter. I do.
No, me too, bro. It's all good. It's all good.
It's a nice deviation from talking about Will Wade's firing and the looming sanctions and everything. So so let me go from something uplifting to then something not uplifting, and that's Blake Money being injured. So I know you were on the call on Friday. What can you tell us? Because we all saw the pitch. We've heard them say wrist. What can you tell us?
Well, first of all, he was perfect through 4 innings, but even saying that, like he's really, really good at throwing his fastball. That 4-seamer is gonna be 93, 94 miles an hour. I mean, you could take that to the bank. I've seen him throw 10 or 12 of them in a row, at least, per the scoreboard gun. And, I noticed, like, kind of glancing up there that there were more 91s than 90s around the 3rd or 4th inning. And talking to, I had a text thread with some buddies who were watching the game, and they said they noticed him shaking his hand and kind of wiping his hand in previous innings. And Jeff and I thought that maybe it was the diving play, if you remember bunt, kind of a lazy bunt. He dove and kind of sold out for it. Maybe that, caught his wrist or something. But I don't think that was it. I think it all happened before that. And then you hear, these kind of nerve wrist, and he's got a nerve in his wrist that was bothering him. And as long as I was around baseball and around pitchers specifically, and all the injuries that I've heard of, I never really heard of that one. And it's kind of unusual. And from the dugout, they were telling me, and of course even after the game that day, they were telling everyone that it didn't seem like it was going to be a serious injury. So frankly, as of today, I really don't know where it stands.
Jay Johnson did meet with the media, said he's gotten a lot of treatment, and this should not be a long-term thing, which is great news because that's your Friday night guy, and you got conference play starting. Duggar, I think the bigger question is what unfolded this weekend on Saturday and Sunday with Ty Floyd and Mikhail Hilliard, each extending 6 innings. You believe that that's just the way they're going to go? They'll go Money, Floyd, Hilliard?
Well, it looks like it to start. I think the Grant Taylor is opening up some eyes. I mean, he's got an explosive fastball and a really, really good curveball that it's sharp. I mean, one of those ones that kind of just disappears, snapdragon. But he's a freshman, and Mikhail Hilliard, the innings he has under his belt, you can't replace that with stuff, right? And he's competing, and he looked really good yesterday. Ty Floyd, when he develops that curveball that you're seeing more and more, we saw about 3 starts ago, he threw 3 or 4 that weren't even close. And then in the at Minute Maid, he threw, I would say, maybe 7 or 8, even a couple back-to-backs, and they looked much better. And if he continues to improve that, just to be able to put it in the hitter's mind, he's got great induced vertical break. With his fastball, it's sneaky and it's got some explosion to it. All the good stuff you hear about fastballs, that's what his fastball is. That's why he has one of the highest strikeout per 9 inning ratios of all pitchers ever in the history of LSU. And I think if Ty Floyd can do that, that he can win a lot of games because he throws a lot of strikes. The same thing with Hilliard with that curveball. It's a plus pitch. It's a major league level spin type pitch. And if he can throw some other things around the strike zone to complement that, I think he can have success in the SEC the way he has his whole career.
Doug Thompson's with us, national championship pitcher, member of the LSU Sports Radio Network. Are you satisfied with the defensive improvement from last weekend to this?
Yeah, you know what? Jay Johnson, I don't know which pregame show it was, his interview. I was listening to it. He was talking about the errors, and he said, a lot of my guys, a lot of these errors, if you were to go back and look at them, of course we don't. And we don't really have the analysis to go back and really look at every error. But what he's seeing is a lot of them are guys trying to do too much. And you remember back to the Ty Floyd play, back in the bunt, and he tried to throw it. And then there was another play. I think Bryce Collins was on the mound. There was a bunt rolling down the line. The runner was barreling down the line right next to him. He tried to kind of field it and then throw it over the runners, and he threw it away. There was a play with Barry in right field, kind of the same type of deal. And I started to see it, is my point. Like over the next 2 or 3 games, some of these mistakes were like Tyler McManus firing out from behind the plate on a perfect bunt, trying to field it with the bare hand, spin and throw a bullet to first base for a bang-bang play on a guy that could really move, and he threw it down the line. And you know, that's one of those plays. I tell you, I coach Little League, and the rule of thumb is when you're trying to coach your players, right, you never get on them when they make a physical mistake. That's why they have E on the scoreboard, right? If they on every baseball field in the world, R, H, and E are the things that they keep track of, and that's because everybody makes errors, even at the major league level. You chastise more the mental mistakes, and you really coach up those mental mistakes. But when you see players moving forward and trying to make things happen, it's really kind of a gray limbo area for a coach, right? Do you tell them to be less aggressive? You know, that's kind of tiptoeing. You know, you want your players to be aggressive defensively. You want them to be looking to make that big throw and make that bang bang play. So it's kind of a fine line, and you know, I'm kind of curious to see how it all rolls out, right? I mean, will LSU continue to struggle defensively, or will things kind of start to correct themselves and normalize as the season progresses? It's going to be interesting, but I will say over the next 4 or 5 errors after hearing his pregame interview, I would say, you know, more than half of the errors that I saw after that were absolutely forced plays, guys trying to make plays and do too much in a situation that didn't necessarily call for it.
A couple more for you. I want to ask you about Jacob Berry, and we've started to talk about this a little bit. I don't know how much you all have talked about it on the broadcast, or if you have, but there's a very clear distinction right now, and I don't have the splits, Doug, but it's just very obvious.
Right, left, right.
Oh, my God. I mean, he's a monster from the left side, and he's really struggled from the right side. At what point do you tell him never go into the other batter's box?
You don't. I mean, he swings. That's one of the things I heard about him at first was he actually hits it well. And this was from dads that had watched every scrimmage, the coaching staff, the scouting reports that he's pretty equal from both sides of the plate. And he was last year at Arizona. And one of the things, Matt, is that I don't know how many left-handed hitters he's actually seen. I mean, I want to say he has probably less than 5 or 6 plate appearances against lefties, and most of them have been against right-handers. So that's where most of his production has come and where he's got more locked in. So it's one of those deals right now, I think. I think there's a significant imbalance of at-bats, so it's kind of early to tell from the right side. But I don't really see anything like when I have seen him hit, which is, again, only once or twice from the right side. It's not like he looks like he's trying to force it. You know, he's got a very nice swing from the right side as well. So I think we just need a little bit bigger of a body of work.
Okay. Give me something that you'd like to see this week before LSU opens up conference play, or as LSU opens up conference play against Texas A&M.
I want to see him dominate Tulane. No. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him swing the bats well. I'd like to see him play a clean inning of defense. Of course, I'd like to hear that Blake Money will be pitching on Friday night, right? But I don't know if that's, you know, that answer that you said earlier, I don't know if that was verbatim what Coach Johnson said about that it won't be long-term. But did he rule out this Friday?
He didn't say specifically, but I'll read you the quote directly. Leah Van tweeted it. We read it earlier. Was, of course, now I'm trying to find it. Here it is. He had an intense day of treatment yesterday, which went very good and positive. The only thing I can say is there does not appear to be any kind of length to this injury at all.
Well, there you go. So if Blake Money's out there on Friday, I really think the key for LSU this week, you know, I talked to Nolan Kane earlier today about A&M, and they've had a transition year. They've got Jim Schlossnagle there now. He's one of the best in my opinion, and he's going to turn that program around. But right now, it's really in a bad spot. And the injury bug has been, you know, very unpleasant. They've lost their best player for 6 weeks to a broken hamate. Their second best player, shortstop, for 6 weeks to a blown out back. He hurt his back, and they don't have a pitcher that's going to really throw it in there above 92. They don't have an Alex Lang type 92 to 95 Friday night guy. They've got some guys even playing out of position. So I think this is a great opportunity first to see, where they stack up against what it sounds like will be one of the teams that struggle this year in the SEC, right? They're openly admitting this at Texas A&M. It's a rebuild year, et cetera. So it'll be interesting to see where we stack up, and it'll be a great opportunity for LSU to get off with a potential sweep, right? Which is huge to start off SEC play. And I really want to see the offense have a big night on Tuesday, clean defense, and and the thing I like the most about LSU right now, I love the back end of that bullpen. I love Gervais. And I'm still not sure if it's Reiselman or Raiselman. I heard Coach Johnson and I were talking the other day. He called it Reiselman, but I've heard we say it on air as Raiselman. I need to check with Billy Franquez. He's the guy that can really clear that up. But
Doug, I interviewed Eric when he committed, and I asked him. It's Raiselman.
We've been going with Raiselman on air, but Coach Johnson said Reiselman. I said, Coach, is it really Reiselman or is it Raiselman? And he said, I've been going with Reiselman.
I'm telling from his mouth, because if I'm not sure, I always ask before an interview.
I appreciate that. No, that's good.
He told me Raiselman. Yeah,
that's confirming. That's good stuff. I haven't had a chance to meet up with him yet to ask him directly, but good. I don't need to. And we had it right in the booth, which of course was Bill Franquez. We have to give credit to him at all times. But man. So that's what I'm looking forward to this week is a good win against a decent Tulane team, obviously, that beat Mississippi State twice. Mississippi State has struggled out of the gate, and they've had an injury or two that's been a key one. But I'd like to see a good, clean win and all around good baseball. I'd like to see pitchers throw strikes and the defense cleaned up, and I would like to see some guys that might have been scuffling of late get some knocks, especially down there at the bottom of the lineup.
Good stuff as always, Duggar. We appreciate it, man. Have a great week.
You're the man. Talk to you soon.
All right, Coach. We'll see you. That is Doug Thompson of the LSU Sports Radio Network. He's on Twitter at DT9Tigers. Y'all give him a follow. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. 60 years plus. Clegg's Nursery all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Man, they started by selling flowers out of the bed of a flatbed truck. It's incredible. Now look at what they are. Largest garden center in Louisiana. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. I think the cold stuff is past. 72 for the high today, 58 for the low. When you look ahead to the forecast, maybe a little rain, but man, we always get that one last cold snap in March. There's always that one in March. And I think that thing just blew through here this past weekend, and we are ready to roll for spring. I'm fired up about it. You're going to be getting in the yard. When I add that pop of color, flowers, plants, trees, shrubs, no better place than Clegg's. They've got mulch. They've got soil, bagged or bulk. They got it. And at Clegg's, they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So bypass the big box store. Support great local business that's been in our community for 60 years. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing.
I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier. My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Okay, help us out. I asked Musso and Paulie during the break, when was the last time a quarterback of Deshaun Watson's caliber came available in his prime, mind you? I'm not talking about Russell Wilson in his 30s. I'm not talking about Tom Brady in his 40s. I'm talking about a player of Deshaun Watson's caliber at quarterback coming available in his prime. And I'll tell you why I thought of this. I mean, candidly, I ran and took a leak during the break, and I brought my phone, and I was looking at Twitter, and my buddy Ralph Marlborough tweeted of at Saints Forecast, the Saints Happy Hour podcast, if you're interested. They do a good job. He tweeted, the Saints quarterback plan appears to be, give us Watson. If not him, we DGAF. The others are all the same, whatever. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, I would like for you to differentiate, for me, Teddy Bridgewater, Mitchell Trubisky, who else? Jimmy Garoppolo. Who else are the stopgaps that we're talking about here? I mean, Jameis Winston, who I'm higher on than most, I think, but none of them is Deshaun Watson. When has a guy in his prime at quarterback been available? There's probably an obvious one that I'm missing, but I've thought about this, and I can't. There doesn't seem like there's an obvious one that's like popping me right in the face. If there's one you can think of, let me know. Paul mentioned Drew Brees, but Drew Brees wasn't Deshaun Watson at this point. The Chargers were moving on from Drew Brees. They didn't feel like he was the guy that could win for them. He had the shoulder injury. He had split time with Flutie. They draft Rivers. Or they drafted Eli. You know the whole story. But point is, like, yeah, you go all in on Deshaun Watson here because he's the type of guy you go all in on, because when are you ever going to have an opportunity like this ever again? There's a lot of people that are talking about the draft capital it would take, the 3 draft picks or whatever it would take to get him. Who cares? Like, do you honestly think you can turn those 3 picks into Deshaun Watson? I mean, what would it take for you to hope in next year's draft you're in a position to put together a package to move up to draft a quarterback that you hope could be Deshaun Watson? Just get Watson at 26. It's proven. Look what the Bears gave up to go get Trubisky. I mean, when the Eagles moved up to go get Wentz, the Rams moved up to go get Goff. I mean, we see it all the time. And more often than not, you don't end up with a player the caliber of Deshaun Watson. So the only way you're going to get a player like this is suck so badly that you're going to end up with one of the top picks in the draft, or trade for Deshaun Watson right now. So yeah, absolutely. I'm all in on this. A lot of you have also asked about Jarvis Landry. If y'all haven't heard today, I'm sure many of you have. The Cleveland Browns have released Jarvis Landry. So Landry, they had given him permission to seek a trade, and ultimately today the Browns decided to give him his outright release. So Jarvis Landry is now free to sign with any team he wants. He is an unrestricted free agent. He can go wherever he wants, sign with whomever he wants for whatever value that he wants. I will be massively interested to see what the market will be for Jarvis Landry. He was set to make $16 million, but he had no guaranteed money. So for Cleveland, they released Jarvis Landry. They saved $16 million against the cap. This is a guy who's a 5-time Pro Bowler, but last year had knee injuries and struggled, had career lows in receptions, yards, touchdowns, 52 catches, 570 yards, 4 touchdowns. Those were all career lows for Juice. So a lot of people have asked me today, should the Saints pursue Jarvis Landry? Absolutely. I want to be very clear about this again. I firmly believe that as a franchise, you kick the tires on any player that can make you better, because you miss 1,000% of the shots you don't take, which actually isn't true, because if you don't take the shot, you don't actually miss it. You just can't make the shot. And that's a technicality. But anyway, yeah, you call Jarvis Landry. What's he interested in? What's it going to take? Does he want to come to New Orleans? Could he do a team-friendly deal? Could you imagine Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry in the same receiving room? Yes, 100%. You make that phone call and see if you can get a deal done. CJ McCollum, I don't know if you saw this, CJ McCollum on Twitter tweeted at Jarvis Landry. He's trying to recruit him to the Saints. CJ McCollum tweeted, "Loved you on my Browns, brother." He tweeted at Jarvis Landry, "I know you're a Southern fellow. Why not come to the South? Come south to the Saints. I'll be at some games this year." I don't know if CJ realizes that Jarvis is basically from a suburb. He's from Lutcher. He's a suburb of New Orleans, essentially. So, I mean, it would be phenomenal to see Jarvis back here at the right price. And because he's a unrestricted free agent, you could sign him to a deal that's backloaded. I mean, there's ways to make it work for a prospect like that where you don't even have to give up an asset to get him. So I would love to see that. I mean, that would be magnificent if it worked out that way. The one other bit of Saints news here, forgive me, I'm going to pull it up here so I don't screw it up. But Deontay Harris, who has changed his last name, he's Deontay Hardy, excuse me. Deontay, I knew I was going to screw it up, so I wanted to get it. Deontay Hardy, Harty. I believe he's taken his stepdad's last name, if I'm not mistaken. So the Saints have signed Deontay Hardy, to a second-round tender, and that amount is just under $4 million. Basically, if any team were to sign Harris or offer him a contract, the Saints could match, or he would, or if he leaves, the Saints would be compensated for him leaving in free agency with a draft pick, so with a compensatory pick. So the Saints have tendered him at $3.9 million, but he could sign that tender, and then they could agree to a longer-term deal at a lower cap number. So there are ways they can structure it to where he won't count $4 million against the cap, but that's a way to make sure that they retain his rights, because he's a player they like. I mean, he's an all-pro returner, and he's more than proven his mettle as a receiver as well. So looks like the Saints are well on their way to keeping Deontay Hardy. You're going to hear us saying that in New Orleans moving forward. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. The Williamson Eye Center, if you want to see 2020, there's a way to do it without contacts, or glasses. No matter your age or your refractive issue, the Williamson Eye Center can help. Just give them a buzz. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson. Go for that consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. If it's LASIK like I had, told you Hester had PRK, had LASIK when he was playing. As you age, the rest of your eye can deteriorate, which can lead to other issues, which Hester had. Went for PRK with Dr. Blake Williamson, now seeing without glasses again. The Williamson Eye Center has a path for you. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Oh, yeah, it's after further review. Been a really good day here on the show. Just a ton going on. I mean, brackets are set. The LSU men and women are both dancing, which is awesome. Baseball Tigers got a sweep. How about Beth Torina? The softball team took 2 out of 3 from Alabama this weekend. Alabama was ranked 2nd in the country. They were undefeated coming in. Tiger softball squad beat them twice, and then they lost game 3 2-1. I mean, they damn near swept the number 2 team in the country. So a great weekend there all the way around. Saints squarely in the middle of the Deshaun Watson conversations. Pels got a win last night. As, by the way, tip of the cap to our guy Todd Graffinini, who did text me, and we're talking about who you should be pulling for. He said, you need to pull against Portland, San Antonio, and the Lakers, who all play tonight. Of course, the Lakers, for obvious reasons, they're in the 9, the Pels are in the 10, and we're hoping that the Lakers fall, because if they finish with a bottom 10 record in the NBA, then the Pels would get that pick back. But the Trailblazers and the Spurs are behind the Pelicans in the standings. My point was those teams aren't really trying to win right now, but the Spurs do play hard, and it's, I guess, better be safe than sorry type thing. So, yes, pull against San Antonio, Portland, and the Lakers, but mostly pull against the Lakers tonight. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Quick break. If you want to join us, tons of reaction today. I'll spend the break sifting through some of your reaction via text and email and tweet and via the YouTube chat. So feel free to get your voice heard. And if you want to join us, I got open lines at 499-1045, 499-1045, or toll free 844-568-MATT, 844-568-6288. We'll get to your calls, texts, emails, and tweets as we move through this next segment. We'll get to Otter Locks coming up in about 15 minutes. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. And you've heard me for years sing Darren James's praises for the way he works. But listen to Ronald Williams, who recently sold his home, and his parents sold and bought a home from Darren James.
I can't speak highly enough of, the service, everything that you said and spoke on, he actually lived that. And I just wanted to make sure that folks know that, yeah, this guy is definitely the best real estate agent experience I've ever had. The professionalism that you need whenever you're trying to get top dollar for your piece of property, that you need to really consider Darren James and his team.
335-7666. 335-7666. Had the experience I had, that Ronald Williams had, and thousands of others have had. Need to sell your home? You need Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorns in stock with 0% APR for 72 months. Shop our inventory or let us custom order your Ram with up to $2,000 bonus cash, million-mile warranty, and more. Shop BayouCDJR.com or visit us off I-10 in La Plaza. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I can't speak highly enough of, the service, everything that you said and spoke on.
We plan for Thursday and Friday, so we'll get on the floor a couple times tomorrow. We'll get ready for film. We won't change anything we've done in the past. We were one of the best prepared teams in the country all year, so we won't change a lot of that. Get on the floor a couple times. We'll watch some film. We'll do something as a team. Try to create some atmosphere as much as we can in the gym. Put some adversity in the gym as much as we can. Create some situations where we're up or we're down, and we'll put together some situations if it's late game, so they know. Get used to my voice. They need to get used to my voice. So that's the biggest thing, getting used to my voice. 4 days, get used to my voice.
Kevin Nickelberry, he's got experience. I mean, he's been in the first chair on the bench at Howard and at Hampton, so this isn't a new rodeo for him taking the reins as a head coach, certainly as an interim head coach in the NCAA tournament with a 6 seed and team capable of making a run. That's going to be different, no doubt. But I really hope, and I'll look forward to hearing from some of the players this week, but I really hope that this team can, as Kevin Nickelberry said there, get used to hearing a different voice and go make a run, because they're capable. The real question is just, will this adversity cause them to rally together and perform their best, or will the opposite happen? And for what it's worth, Nickelberry was asked this when he met with the media. He was asked, will this team be able to focus on the tournament? Here's what he said.
You never know until you throw the ball up. I mean, they were very excited about finding out who we play. We did some. I just left the gym just now. We just walked through some things. I think we're gonna have a spirited practice tomorrow. And again, until a lot of these guys haven't been in the tournament before. I probably, if not our best, one of our best players, Tari Easton's never been to the NCAA tournament. We have a lot of guys who haven't been to the NCAA tournament. This is all new. Like I said, I don't want to keep saying it, but it's the reality. We are the youngest team in the SEC, one of the youngest teams in the country. We're putting 2 freshmen out there to start the game and bringing freshmen and sophomores off the bench who've never played in the NCAA tournament game against a very experienced team. So I'm hoping that that this may motivate them to play for LSU, play for their families, and give them a reason to play more than they would have had anyway.
They will be playing, as you mentioned, an experienced Iowa State team, but a team that won just 2 games a year ago and certainly did not sniff the postseason. That was the end of the Steve Prohm era. They won 20 games this year. One of the best defensive teams in the country is Iowa State, but really just an abysmal offensive squad. So I do. LSU's a 4-point favorite in this game. I do like LSU in the ball game. Just when you look at 2 teams that are great defensively, if that's a wash, I look at LSU as a more athletic team that's going to be able to make things happen offensively to create offense, and they should win this ball game. But it's a different style. Certainly, they're going to face on Friday night there in Milwaukee. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's me, and that's Ryan Terrio, and it's Richard Tilley and Sam Hay, and all our partners over at Hudco Roofing. Two things I want to tell you about. Number one, inspections. Y'all know what the weather was like last week. When that weather came through, it's nasty. A lot of people end up with water in their house. I mean, there's only two ways to find out if you got roof damage. You get up on the roof and inspect it, or you wait till you have water in the house. One of those options is better than the other. So log on to HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com. Hit the contact form, HudcoRoofing.com. Hit the contact form. Take you 60 seconds. Fill out the contact form. We'll come out. We'll do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Get up on the roof. Do a full report. Again, this is free, and there's no obligation. If you have roof damage, we recommend a replacement. We'll help you file the claim. We'll do all of that work for you. You pay your deductible, get you a new roof. If not, wonderful. You know your roof's in good shape. Let us help you out at HudcoRoofing.com. And, of course, Hudco Hometown Heroes program, that's our take on NIL. We want to support great local athletes, and we know that there are premier athletes that are going to get NIL deals, but at Hudco, every job we complete, we'll take a portion of our net and contribute it to an NIL deal with the athlete of the homeowner's choosing. So we've already done deals with Micah Baskerville and Jack Besh and Dylan Cruz and Kay Doty and Brady Hebert, who's a pitcher at Tulane, and Jordan Jackson, who's a football player at Nicholls State, and Alexis Morris at LSU. So learn more at HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's After Further Review. We did mention, of course, that the Lady Tigers in the tournament as well. The selection show yesterday, Lady Tigers are a 3 seed in the Big Dance. They'll take on the 14 seed Jackson State. Here was Kim Mulkey after the selection show yesterday in Baton Rouge.
I'm so happy for my basketball team. I am so happy for the women's basketball team. I know the excitement's in the air in Baton Rouge and across the state, and I hope that everybody comes out. I hope that everybody can figure out how to do the St. Patrick's Day parade, how to get over here. If they want to go watch baseball, go do it on Friday and Sunday. Just figure it all out. But come experience this, because it's hard to do. It's hard to be a top 16 seed, and to do it as quickly as we've done it here. It's just a reward.
Baseball Saturday is at 6 p.m. So there's going to be a lot going on this weekend for LSU. Baseball plays Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Of course, the basketball team, the men's team, will play at 6:20 on Friday. The women are going to play at 6 o'clock on Saturday. Or is it, you know the tip? It's 4. Okay, so 4 o'clock, thank you, on Saturday. And then the baseball team plays at 6. So you could probably do both. Quite honestly, you could do all of it. St. Patrick's Day parade, of course, Saturday in Baton Rouge. The wearing of the green parade is always a big deal here. So there is a lot going on, but plenty to do and see if you want to participate. All right, it's After Further Review. We're going to grab our final break of the show. We'll come back, put a button on it. It's always brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, 288-8138 or ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. When we come back, Jimmy Ott will join us back from Vegas, the vacationing Otter. See how he did out there in Sin City with his wagering throughout the conference tournaments, and we'll get Otter's thoughts on the bracket and what we're betting on tonight. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt, and Hill, the early line. And After Further Review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, Front-to-Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We got one thing left to do to find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth a short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable of an incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself, back from Vegas, Jimmy Ott. How are you, Otter?
Just back.
When did you land?
About an hour ago.
Yeah. All right, so where are you, like, right now?
Bruce Creole.
Oh, so you're back. All right. I thought maybe you'd be driving back. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's just pulled up. Hanny and Roscoe here, and so we got a lot of things to catch up on, Matt.
Right.
But
how did you do?
after,
How did you do?
I did fine. Fine. Could always do better, but after the canceled flight brought me back. Karma has it that the last game on the board was the Lakers against the Suns, so I'm not betting that trash. So made a little bit of money back on the Lakers, and so anyway, but this is like eating a buffet for like 2 or 3 days, and then like really? The NBA is what we have tonight? But there's a couple of angles if you want them.
Of course I want them.
The Clippers. Clippers played last night and beat Detroit on the road. The Detroit, man, with Kate Cunningham, they're a feisty little team. They won a very close game on the road. Second night in a row, away game, back-to-back. Yes, the line's going to be inflated a little bit, but they're also sitting some guys out, are the Clippers. So going with Cleveland, small there. And, man, the Warriors against the Wizards. Off night for Steph Curry, last time out. Birthday tonight. Draymond Green coming back. Might have a little extra pep in their step over the 225 against the Wizards in that late game tonight.
Okay. Otter feeling a little offense. Okay. All right, so the Cavs laying the 7 and the Warriors over the 225. I'm looking forward to some NBA Otter locks, to be quite frank with you. I'll be more tuned into the games that you're giving us on Otter locks with the NBA than I ever was with the mid-major stuff you throw it our way for Friday nights in basketball.
Love the mid-majors.
I just don't really love college basketball, so I'm quite okay.
Oh, well.
I'm really, really much better watching the NBA. So
okay,
I'm in.
Okay,
I'm in. Oh, what do you think of the bracket, man?
For the most part, pretty good. But, there's a few things that I think they had these brackets set up before these games are played on Sunday. Not that Tennessee should get a ton of credit for beating a team that didn't even make it a tournament in A&M, but it's how they beat them in Iowa as well. Maybe a seed there. Maybe the regular season champion and the tournament champion in the Mountain West, Boise State, should have been ahead of teams. They finished ahead of. Like San Francisco had 2 spots ahead of them. So minor things. Kansas probably got the lightest because Wisconsin's a week 3 seed. Johnny Davis is hurting right now. And LSU, on the way out, who knows next time we're going to get here. But on the way out, if they can put some distractions aside, they can win a couple of games or so.
How would you feel if they do advance to play Wisconsin? Would they be favored in that? Would LSU be favored in that game?
No. They won't be favored. Okay. LSU is a big fade team by a lot, but everybody I've heard because Wade, they don't have their coach. They don't have their coach. Lots of distractions. They might not even show up to play. I disagree.
Okay.
I think they might have a shot. I love their matchup against Iowa State. I think Iowa State might be the weakest at-large team in the tournament. And Wisconsin, their player of the year, Johnny Davis, their guy, he's banged up, Matt. He's not himself right now, and they're not themselves right now either.
All right. I love it. All right. Well, the Otter's back. He's over at Rouge Creole right there in Perkins Road.
I hung out with Colucci.
Was that your first time ever meeting him in person?
Yes,
yes.
Yes.
I saw the picture of you and Colucci and Papa Colucci as well.
Yes. It was like I came back from war or something. It was so exciting. And I don't mean to make light, obviously, right now with what we're going through.
No, come on. We know.
I know, but he was so excited. We had some laughs, man. We really did.
I have a question. Why? All right, here's the picture of you. So there's Colucci on the left, Papa Colucci in the middle, and Otter on the right. Otter, why do you look like pensive in this picture? Like, did they surprise you? Were you staring at a bad beat or something in the moment?
I was probably watching the TVs. Kind of in between.
You gotta go look at the picture you posted. It's like you have this look on your face, like, oh crap, they just made a 3-pointer. I'm not gonna cover this. 2 seconds to go. Like that's the look on your face.
You know what, Matt? I think I was watching UAB -7 that just went up 11 and got a double technical in the last 15 minutes.
God bless. All right, Otter, have a great show. We appreciate you, man. Welcome back.
Thanks.
All right. That is Jimmy Ott. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com or the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. I got to give a big shout out, y'all. My girl Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions was in there earlier today. Y'all know I got chronic back and neck issues. And, man, I had a big-time flare-up. She saw me today. like, again, an unpaid, unsolicited endorsement. If you deal with pain, she's like a freaking magician. RestoredMotions.com. Go check her out. Trust me, you got pain, book a session. She'll take care of you. RestoredMotions.com. Tell her I sent you. Believe me, it's just free your mind, do something different, bypass all the other stuff that you've tried to do in the past that hadn't worked for you. I'm telling you, it is freeing and liberating to actually feel good. RestoredMotions.com. Check her out. All right, it's After Further Review. It's going to do it for us here on a Monday edition of AFR Muse. What'd you learn?
Pimp Juice is your favorite Nelly song.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
I would have sworn we'd have talked about that at some point in the past. Paulie, what'd you learn?
South Carolina. Let go of Frank Martin.
They did. In fact, that's two. Well, I guess Florida's open because Mike White left Florida for Georgia.
What'd you learn, Matt?
Doug Thompson claims that he is the reason everybody calls everybody coach. You believe him? I don't believe him.
I don't believe him.
How do you claim that you're the guy that invented the calling everybody coach when everybody in baseball calls everybody coach? You can't be that guy. You're just a guy that does that. We'll see you tomorrow.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Check them out online at Michelli.com. The website is such an amazing resource. It's why we talk about it all the time. So many business owners will go to Michelli.com and say, oh, I didn't realize you did that. If you want to learn about all of the different industries they work, all of the different types of calibration they do, it's right there at Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. You know, at Michelli, they've been around for 75 years, celebrating 75 years in business. And although they've grown with 29 calibration labs in 11 different states, they still love to do business face-to-face. And they have won. I've had this conversation with Joel so many times. They've won so much business because of their attention to detail and because of their ability to communicate with their clients. And people love that. It's a lost art in 2021 or 2022 in many places, not at Michelli. Michelli.com.
Are you thinking about a new vehicle? Come to Corbell Toyota in Opelousas and pre-order your next Toyota. It's an easy process, and Toyotas are getting to our lot weekly. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to Corbell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
The motivation I needed to live healthier. My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found